Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 114-103 win against the Brooklyn Nets. Riker, the Toronto Raptors are on a 4-game winning streak. They're putting the pro tankers, they're quieting all those guys as you and I have sort of been converted to over the past month. But Riker, this is our first really nice win. Even without Kevin Durant and James Harden on the Brooklyn Nets, this is still a really strong team. And the Raptors came out a couple of lulls throughout the game, but overall, dominant performance.
I was going to start with that point, Ben, that no Harden, no Durant, but this Nets team has been winning, though. They've been nice. Kyrie Irving, he's put on another display. Like, this team has been winning games in the NBA by big margins. So this is still an impressive victory for those that are wanting to make the playoff push as a Raptors fan. This game is only going to further your motivation and further your argument to say that, hey, if the Raptors do sneak into that play-in, they make it to first round in a low seed, they could still give any top-tier East team a challenge. The only thing is, James Harden would add another 20 points that game. Kevin Durant would add another 20 points that game. So I don't want to blow this one out of proportion. But, Ben, when you see this lineup play healthy again, running the fast break, Pascal Siakam actually scoring, a real center, Freddie Gillespie with 5 blocks, I mean, things are starting to look a lot more positive for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, certainly, and people are excited. The super chats are coming in super early, and Arco saying after the last game, I was on Team Tank. I was thinking now we could take a few games, few teams in our conference. Big Freddie Gillespie and Birch, they were great, our centers. So people are converting, Riker. We made this graphic, Team Tank, Team Playoffs, and I'd say a lot of people are moving away from Cade Cunningham and moving toward that playoff path, as you brought up. That was a really nice win for the Toronto Raptors, and as Arco brought up, the bigs looked phenomenal tonight. Down the stretch, we don't want to spoil any segments, but Kem Birch really showed up. Freddie Gillespie, his defense, his energy, his rebounding, 5 blocks. This is what the Toronto Raptors needed this entire season in order to get things rocking, things rolling. You got the claws going and rocking out. But the Raptors with proper big men, are you confident that we can take any team in the conference, as Arco brought up?
Not any team, not a full
teams?
Healthy Brooklyn Nets, but I'm confident you could play against the Philadelphia 76ers team, because really you slow down Joel Embiid, you have yourself a series. You could play against the Bucks, who they swept in the regular season anyways. Now all of a sudden, instead of Aaron Baines being that big guy congesting the paint, you have Kem Birch and Freddie Gillespie, right? Those are winnable potential. Maybe not winnable, potential playable, challenging series. Now, fully healthy Brooklyn Nets, I don't know. You could also question what indefinite means now with James Harden's injury. So things are up in the air. The Washington Wizards just lost tonight, I believe, or they were close to losing against Golden State Warriors, and the Bulls absolutely got blown out by Cavs. So the Raptors are there. They're probably in 10th seed by the time this thing is done recording, Ben.
Yeah, and we also have another super chat from Paul Blunt. Always coming in with the blunt takes. Not really blunt tonight. Farewell, my sweet tank. Farewell. And that's
almost poetic.
Yeah, very poetic. But Riker, where are you standing right now after this win? Have you been converted? And should we just play the kazoos in honor of maybe the last time we could potentially play them on a 4-game win streak? Are you retiring the kazoos, or are you still not jumping off the tank wagon just yet?
Play them early, Ben, and let's ask what everybody listening thinks, because most people that tune into this one not live, they'll probably only stick around for the first couple of minutes. So let's ask right away, are you guys Team Tank or Team Playoffs now after this match?
Yeah, definitely do it. Definitely throw it in. We don't like spam, right? We've gotten some moderators cleaning up the chat a little bit, I believe. I don't know if they're here today, but spam for the next 10 seconds what you want to see. Tank or playoffs? Throw it in the comment section. We usually do this at the end of the podcast, but we'd like to see it early. And while we do that, we'll shout out the most recent super chat from Peasant Plays. Always in the super chat saying, where's Baines? And when you got Gillespie, when you got Kem Birch playing at the level they're playing, and we're going to dive even more to them as the podcast goes along, there's just no real spot for Baines right now. He's insurance. He's a guy that can be a solid third string center. I think he'd be a decent backup center. But now with Gillespie and Birch playing at the level they are, the defense they're bringing, the rebounding, the ability to finish in the paint, Riker, it's added a whole new dimension to this Toronto Raptors roster.
Yep, absolutely. Keep elaborating on that because I'm searching up something right now. I want to throw a stat at you, but I don't have it on the cuff, so keep going on what you saw from those guys tonight.
Yeah, no, certainly. And we've asked for the little bit of spam. We appreciate it. And a lot of people are saying playoffs. People are saying that they've been playoffs. Tank is still there. I'd say it's about, just from eyeballing it, maybe 70% playoffs. But the Tanks are rolling in late. So it's an interesting. And I don't want to overreact to a couple games because, as we mentioned, we had a really easy schedule over the past stretch of games. This was our first really tough matchup in really a week, so this 4-game win streak might be a little bit misleading. We do have a lot of tough games coming up, even just in the next few, but the Raptors coming out and beating this Brooklyn Nets team that still has Kyrie Irving, that still has Joe Harris, who was on fire in the first 3 minutes of the game. Then the Raptors did a good job at not letting him get open shots, but this team, I believe, this upcoming week will be very telling. If we can get a big win streak rocking and push our way up into the standings, and maybe the way the East is so close together, maybe get an upper seed in the play-in tournament, that would be a more encouraging path to make the playoffs. But I don't know. It's interesting.
Let's pause on 4-game win streak. This was the stat that I was trying to find. Last 4-game win streak was February 16th, 18th, 19th, 21st. It's only happened once. This is only the second time of this NBA season. Their second best is only 3. So that'll tell you that this is a revitalized Toronto Raptors team. Mm-hmm. And again, I think it's really coming from the play of the centers. Not that they're necessarily coming in and dropping 20 points, but pivotal defensive plays. Yep. Freddie Gillespie, 5 blocks, right? Kem Birch with, we don't want to spoil the segments, but obviously his closing plays and having that connection with Pascal Siakam and him down the stretch, neutralizing for the most part DeAndre Jordan, who would feast on this team, especially the likes of Chris Boucher, who, this is not a knock against Chris Boucher, he just doesn't match up well against physically empowering or intimidating bigs in the line. And you know, Kyrie Irving, you mentioned him. You said that they played pretty well. He also got a block. I can't tout and build up Kem Birch without saying he absolutely blocked. It was nasty against Kyrie Irving. But other than that, the games were clean tonight, Ben. But telling that this is a good win despite not having Durant, despite not having James Harden, but even more telling, and what we both agreed would be when we fully commit to team playoff, is after the New York Knicks game, because they're fully healthy. They're right there at the bottom of the play-in tournament. What are you about to say?
Are you wearing the Knicks hat or the Raptors hat that game, Riker?
Oh, Ben, you can be confident I'm wearing the Raptors hat, but the Knicks hat is never too far away if things get lopsided. But Ben, again, they're fully healthy. They're in the play-in tournament, or they're at least in playing to get out of the play-in tournament. They want to win. They want to win right now. So if the Raptors can take that game, hold your horses. They're playoff bound.
Hold your horses. And we got to talk about some players. And Pascal Siakam is in the chat right now. I believe he was asking for a shout out while looking for a like spike. Monoculus, he's another guy asking for it. So we may as well plug it. Get a like spike going early on in this podcast.
Spike.
That's what we're rocking.
We coordinate.
Yeah, we can't coordinate over the Zoom or whatnot. We're also on the road to 20K subscribers, so definitely subscribe to the channel. Like to make a nice push, especially if the Raptors start winning games. Jump back on the bandwagon, especially if the Raptors get this next W against the Knicks, as Riker brought up, because it could be a really fun end of the season, the way the team looks, the way they play tonight. So definitely check all that out. But we brought up Pascal Siakam in the chat, but Pascal Siakam in the game, is it something about the purple jerseys, Riker? Because most of the time when he's wearing those, I remember it was his birthday one day. We got the balloons out the last time he had a big game in the purple jerseys, but 27 points for Pascal tonight, 10 of 19 from the field, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, which is really impressive, 2 steals, only a couple turnovers. What were your thoughts on Pascal Siakam's performance tonight? Because he really looked engaged, looked motivated, was making the right shots around the rim. I was hyper impressed.
Yep. And who did they have on the inside, Ben? Jeff Green, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. Mm-hmm. They're all pretty big, but they're all pretty old. So This is the one that Pascal Siakam, he shouldn't be afraid to go and score on the inside. Now, I'll be honest with you, like the old man in spirit that I am, I was in and out of sleep while I was watching this one. I was nodding off. But from what I saw, there seemed to be a pretty good mix of Pascal Siakam attacking, shooting from the perimeter. I don't know. Did you see anything that maybe I missed, Ben, in this one? I like, my summary would be he has played like we want him to play. Like he's the number one player on a team. Like he's the guy that the offense should flow through him. And when he can't get his shot, he finds the right play, the right pass to make.
Well, the thing about Pascal, right, is when he was at his best last season, particularly before the bubble, well, really only before the bubble, because he fell off a cliff after the long months break, or the multiple months break, whatever. But he really did a good job at finishing around the rim, getting those floaters up, driving the lane, being aggressive, and people made fun of his half spin all over Twitter and all those things, but he was decisive with those moves, and then those half spins, those semi spins, they were quick. And then he'd be able to put up floaters, get to the rim, make those reads, get bank shots around the rim. And I thought he was doing a really good job tonight at getting to his spots, getting to the right positions around the rim, and those are shots that he can make, right? When he's not forcing up those weird fadeaways, when he gets a little bit of contact and just hucks it up, that usually just takes him out of his rhythm, gets rid of his confidence. But tonight, I thought he did a great job at his decision-making around the rim, taking the right shots, and then he missed a couple of shots early. The threes weren't really going down, but once the touch went in, once he got a couple of those layups, a couple of those easy floaters, that's when the threes came back. And I believe Nick Nurse was asked recently in one of those post-game interviews regarding Pascal Siakam's just significant drop-off from three-point shooting this season, because he was always a guy that was improving year after year with that three-point shot, and this year it's fallen right off a cliff. But I think it's just in large part, well, obviously all the off-the-court stuff. He was out with health and safety protocols for a while. He was still getting in shape earlier in the season, but the confidence level, the switching, not shooting the same shots every possession, that's been a big part of his shot selection this year in terms of not getting the three balls going and being out of rhythm when he does fire them up. And tonight, he played himself, he shot his way into a rhythm, and that's what we're going to need out of Pascal Siakam going forward if we do want to make that actual playoff push.
Yep, I absolutely agree. I'm seeing a lot of people in the comment section say that they're done with Pascal Siakam. Whatever, we've had people flip-flop around him all season long in terms of criticisms and praise and whatnot, but he's an energy guy, he's a fast break guy, and so we've been really reserving judgment for this season. Like it or love it or hate it, whatever you want as a fan from us. But Ben, I'm bursting at the seams here. I'm breaking it out early. Let me get your take on this one. I guess I've spoiled it.
Should I play the segment? Should I play the segment?
You can play the segment. Let me know when it's over. I'll jump right in with it.
Yeah.
Not only did Gary Trent Jr. come off the bench to start this one, which we knew was going to happen, Ben. We said it. We said the dire warning if the Raptors make the playoffs is he's not going to be part of that starting lineup, which would be the best lineup. But not only did he not start, he didn't close. He didn't start the game or end the game. And in my opinion, you're missing out on the best offensive and defensive lineup because you're missing out on a guy who's a pure scorer and a guy that gives you a little more defensively than Kyle Lowry. I'm going to say it, Ben. I'm just going to put it out there. He gives you more on both ends than Kyle Lowry. So that's my take. I feel like you're going to come in on a different side of the spectrum here.
Well, tonight, certainly, just the box score-wise, right, Gary Trent Jr., 5 points, 4 rebounds, Lowry, 14 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. It's tough to really... Lowry's always been a guy that's just our engine, our main piece, our main cog that gets the team rolling, gets the team going. And tonight, Trent didn't really seem to have it, but I agree. I don't necessarily know if he should be played over Lowry, and maybe you just rock with the hot hand. It's nice to have a center out there down the stretch of the game, as we saw with Birch, and we've been teasing that segment for this whole podcast now. But I get why he didn't finish the game tonight. I get why he didn't close. Fred got on a little hot streak at the end there, and Kyle Lowry obviously is Kyle Lowry. He's coming back, and he's our main piece. But Gary Trent Jr. only getting 14 minutes off the bench is absolutely unacceptable. I know we're playing bigger and we don't want those guard lineups, but Gary Trent Jr. is a guy that can play defense. He's long. He's a lot taller than most of those guards we used to bring off the bench. It's not like you're throwing a Matt Thomas or a Terrence Davis in there, right? Gary Trent Jr. is a legit 6'6", 6'7", and a strong defender at that. So I get why he played poorly tonight. He's out of rhythm. You can't. I don't know. Trent's been arguably our best player over the past month, and Nick Nurse came out and decided to give him 14 minutes? That's a very weird take. And honestly, Nishay Seth, another super chat legend, he's coming in saying Lowry should come off the bench. Pascal can do the playmaking as a point and hook up Fred and Trent with the threes. And, it's going to be tough. It's a tough decision to throw the Raptors' GROAT to the bench. But lineup-wise, fit-wise, especially if you're trying to win and develop your players. Now, maybe this is some 4D chess to decrease Trent's value for next season, restricted free agency. I don't know if they do something like that to him, but it just makes sense to have a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward, and Fred or Lowry, and Trent at the 2, and OG at the 3, and then obviously Siakam and an actual center at the 5.
Yeah, and Ben, I agree with you. Box score, you're going to say, and the takes are pretty divided as well as I expected they would be. I knew I was coming in with a hot one there to say Lowry shouldn't have closed that game. But Lowry played a fantastic middle stretch, and his third quarter was really good, and he kept the Raptors with distance and kept the Nets at distance. Well, let me tell you what, that 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, 10-2 run with the Nets. They brought it back to 5. Final 4. Lowry didn't score once. He wasn't a participant in that final stretch. Now, you have Gary Trent Jr. out there. He is going to be more of a threat down at the perimeter. He's going to give you a little bit more spacing, a little bit more thought when Pascal Siakam is driving in. I mean, again, I don't want to spoil the segments, but when you have Birch out there as your corner man shooting the 3 to make it a dagger, or you can have Gary Trent Jr. out there, I just think that this guy closing games, now Lowry, we've pegged him as the closer, but if you're not going to close him and you're not going to start him, what did you go and trade Norman Powell for, right? Gary Trent Jr., he's got to get run in this game, and he's going to continue to be very inconsistent, very hot and cold. If he's not getting consistent minutes, we're going to have that Norm Powell effect when some nights he gets 10, some nights he gets 30. Like, that's not what we want from this guy.
Yeah, and it's just a weird situation because Trent, Fred, and Lowry are 3 guards that are legitimate starters in the NBA. They're all capable of being starting players, and regardless of who you start, and I don't mind who you start. Again, I think you should finish with Trent regardless of who's on the floor, but especially the way he's been a closer for us throughout his tenure with the Toronto Raptors. But it's unacceptable. It's Walmart hat, it's Damari Carroll Gold Star. We'll throw it out early to play him 14 minutes. 14 minutes is just brutal from Nick Nurse giving that to Trent. I don't know if maybe he's dealing with an injury. I know he was out with rest for a while. Maybe he got hurt while resting. Who knows? Who knows what that situation? But that is what it is. We'll talk about that more as the segment goes on, particularly in the final alarm. But one guy we do have to talk about, Ryker, before we get into the actual segments, OG Anunoby. 25 points tonight, 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 9 from threes. Got a couple blocks. His defense on Kyrie Irving. I know Kyrie went off for like 28, but overall, it was smothering. He made him work for every shot that he took. OG Anunoby, offensively, defensively, is so valuable for this Toronto Raptors team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to know what Kyrie's field goals were when he was being guarded by OG, because it wasn't just OG all game long, and I agree. Eye test, he did seem to clamp him up, and he really bothered him in this one. That's what we know from the versatility of OG. That's the reason when, if he doesn't score, you still want him to play 30, 40 minutes in a game just because of what he's able to do as a two-way player. But now you have him displaying his handles, Ben. The amount of dribble moves that he did in this game was insane. He crossed up Blake Griffin. He took him to the basket. He was getting great takes on the interior, great finishes. He was very consistent from the 3-point tonight. This is vintage or prime OG Anunoby, if you will, and we hope that we can get more from him like this.
Yeah, and I think...
Didn't have that Walmart hat on while I say that.
You got the Walmart hat, we'll talk about OG. Definitely doesn't deserve that tonight, but OG plays better when he's with better players. And I think having Lowry, Fred, Siakam playing well, an actual center on the court, that just only helps elevate OG Anunoby's game. And once the games get more important and he can focus on defense and playing off of our main scorers, our main creators, that's OG's true value, and that's maybe why he's taken a little bit of a dip the past couple months. You're laughing at something, Ryker.
No, I'm just looking at the comment section. It's coming in, and I just love OG Anunoby as well.
Man, OG's the GOAT. Fred also struggled to start after having a few days of rest, but ended up with 17 points, hit 5 threes, a lot of them down the stretch. It was nice to see Fred get a couple jumpers going. Freddie Gillespie, we talked about his blocks. He was great as a center at the center position. You took him off the bench. We'll talk about Chris Boucher later because of something that happened in the game. But Malachi, fourth quarter, Flynn looked like he was about to go off, and then Nick Nurse subbed him out. That's another guard that we probably should be playing down the stretch. Were you disappointed when he got subbed out with when he hit that three and he kind of hit one after he got fouled?
Listen, fourth quarter, Flynn's not going to play to close games when the roster is fully healthy.
Ice in his veins. I want fourth quarter Flynn down the stretch.
My internet connection is unstable for some reason. I apologize to people if I'm cutting in and out. I thought I've been fine for this one, but fourth quarter Flynn, he's going to get his run. He's going to be part of this Raptors franchise now moving forward. So we'll see what happens next season with Lowry's contract situation, but I'm not worried about Malachi Flynn, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see him. If he hits one, don't sub him out right away. Just give him the ball the next possession, see what happens. And Utah, he hit a 3. I thought he played well. But Ryker, let's just swing into the segments because we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. And tonight, the spicy pea lay of the day. You guys already know what it's sponsored by. I'm waiting for the segment, the animation to come down. Riker's shaking it up, getting ready for that dab. I got my sauce, the one I dabbed on last podcast, in the fridge. But Jungle Spice Roja, Tiger's Milk hot sauce, right? Quality hot sauce. Made some homemade tacos yesterday, Riker. Threw the hot sauce in. Took it to a whole nother level. You can use the promo code WeTheNorth to get not 20% off, 50% off the hot sauce. This isn't going to last for super long, this 50% hot sauce, because I know you guys, it's been in the back of your mind. 1 more week, I think. Yeah, it's been in the back of your mind for a little bit now. You've been looking at the hot sauce, you've been seeing us promote it, and now it's 50% off. You got to go order at shoptigersmilk.com, right? Quality stuff. But Ryker, in honor of the hot sauce, Birch came out today and earned the spicy pea lay of the day down the stretch. OG had a nice dunk over Joe Harris earlier in this one. Right, had a nice yam, but he was outshined by Birch down the stretch. Pascal Siakam drove the lane, did a little handoff to him, and Birch came down with a clutch dunk, and then the possession following, the Raptors really needed a bucket to just seal the deal, take the game over, end it, finish it off, and then Lowry passed it to Birch. They weren't really guarding him in the corner. He passed it back to Lowry. Lowry said, you know what? Shoot that ball, big man. You're not in Orlando anymore. He let it fly for a clutch 3, a clutch bucket. Got the 3-point goggles out here. Break these out. What are your thoughts on Birch down the stretch?
Here's the crazy thing. Did you check his form? It was clean.
Yeah.
Like, there's no weird kick out. He doesn't do a push. He doesn't do anything weird like Aaron Baines or Jonas Valanciunas used to do. It's just a normal shot form, and so I actually wasn't that afraid when he shot it. It's not the guy you expect to shoot a dagger 3, but hey, listen, if you're gonna make them, I'm okay with it, especially when he went inside out like that. So that's great. Also, I just need to very quickly shout out, Bulldog in the comment section has challenged me to a 1-on-1. Where are you at, brother? Because unless you're in Newfoundland, it ain't happening quite yet, but if you are, and somebody else, I think it was Corey versus do they ship the hot sauce to the UK? I have no idea. I I don't
I
know.
believe so.
Maybe. Yeah?
I believe
I don't
so.
know.
They definitely
I
ship
don't
to
know.
Canada. They're a Canadian company, and yeah, I think you go shop Tiger's Milk. You make that order. It's quality stuff. Quality
But
stuff.
Ben, it is quality. So check it out, get it on. I think there's less than a week that we're running this promotion. So if you're, final countdown basically for getting the hot sauce. But Ben, not all plays can be the spicy pile. Some just make you say, "Oh, jeez, I'm waiting to get my sweater. Had to drag it out." What do you got for us?
I'll get you full
What do you got
screen.
for us
I'll get you
tonight?
full screen.
Oh, oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, tonight, Ben.
Do you have one in
What do you
mind,
got?
or are you throwing it?
No,
to
I
me?
don't. I'm throwing it to you.
Okay, I got you on the screen with just flexing that merch.
Yeah,
It's coming.
pull it side by side.
Oh my goodness, we got all the animations playing here right now.
Oh.
But honestly, with that large hyped up OGs, I guess it's got to go to OG had a couple of really nice dunks. One that was called off after, but if OG's getting the shout out there, I can't really think of much that could really. OGs, I guess it could be Ken Birch hitting that three, but we gave it to the spicy Pele of the day. Siakam's handles, I don't know. It made me say OGs when Flynn got subbed out, but we've talked about all of these things. Is there anything I'm missing, Riker, that's off the top of your head?
No, not
Nope.
missing anything, my man. And I didn't have anything for it anyways. We've already, I don't know what you want to say, alluded to or just give directly a DeMarre Carroll gold star in this one. Ben, is there anything else you want to point at before we swing into the final alarm?
Yeah, and we gave sort of one to Nick Nurse. We probably should have given this the OGs, the Nick Nurse stuff, and then this the full out DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award. But it's going to the basketball gods for Chris Boucher, who's been having a remarkable breakout season. He's started to play well. He's now playing his natural position at the power forward, and had a very yucky looking injury. I don't know if it was his knee. It looked like it was his ankle on the replay, but he was grabbing his knee after. That lower leg twisted, contorted a little bit. Not a good look. It looked like his ankle sort of rolled in on the middle way. We don't have much information. I don't know if you have any updated information on it right now, Riker, but prayers up to Chris Boucher. Hopefully he's okay. He's been having the best season of his career and really earning that. Well, he just got paid, but he's going to come back. Hopefully, the biggest hope, regardless of what happens this year, it's not some ACL injury and he misses a lot of next season, but shout out Chris Boucher. Hopefully he's all good, because that's just always gross and hurtful to look at.
Lola Chica is saying left knee sprain.
Okay.
Zion guy is saying just bought Tiger's Milk, just bought the hot sauce. Shout out to you. And Saw Click, left knee sprain. A lot of prayers up, a lot of hands for Chris Boucher. So we'll get into it in a minute, Ben. Let's hit that final alarm. I'm sure Chris Boucher is going to come up. I have a question for you. I just want to save it. So
Yeah. Well, the questions, the banter, we gotta bring it up for the final segment. Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. Woo 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 woo. Woo 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 woo. Beep 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 beep. That's right. The final alarm has gone off, so you guys gotta get into the chat. Throw in your questions. Throw in everything you want to talk about Raptors. Your takes. What side, team tank, team playoffs, leave your arguments there, right? Anything like that. But, Riker, you said you had a question to start off while people sort of bring things in.
Yep. Original Sal saying left knee sprain, so 2 weeks unless it's a mid to high grade. Somebody saying left knee soreness. Ethan Dennis says no Boucher, no play-in. He is bang on the mark with what my question was going to be. Ben, without Boucher, how far can this team possibly go?
Without Boucher?
Without Boucher.
I think with the new center lineup, we'd be able to manage without Chris Boucher. Again, I think he'd be integral in an actual playoff series. He's a key rotation piece for this roster. If we wanted to, again, an upset might be a little bit of a stretch by not having home court. It's looking like fans will be back into the stadiums, and if we're playing against the Sixers, especially with their fan base, or even the Bucks, just a team that has a home court and we don't have it, especially in a year where we have been depleted and we don't have, I guess Ken Birch has looked really nice, Gillespie has looked really nice, but a true starting center, or at least a guy that's been there the whole year, it might be tough to really complete that upset. Regardless of what happens, without Chris Boucher, it would hurt even more, but I'm confident in whoever we play with in a play-in tournament. with Boucher or without Boucher, if we continue to play at this level and don't go the route of tanking.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Next one, Laker for life. And yet, squeaking into the Raptors Digest comment section, what's going on there, Laker for life? Says at Raptors Digest, at us, Ben. Us, just in case you didn't know, that is how we identify ourselves. Will the Raptors get the 9th seed? I'll be in Tampa for my internship this summer and would love to see a home play-in / playoff game in person. Well, what are you doing in Tampa interning for? And what are you doing in the Raptors comment section if you're Laker for life? But Ben, will the Raptors make the 9th seed? So that's assuming that they will get past the Wizards and the Bulls and the current 10th seed, which, well, that is the Bulls as the 10th seed. Who is the 9th seed right now? I think it might be Charlotte, and I'm going to double check.
I think LaMelo Ball might be coming back now soon as well.
I heard he's cleared for contact, yep, which is crazy how fast his ankle recovered.
Yeah,
or not his ankle, his wrist.
Yeah.
Wrist.
But,
I meant to say wrist.
Yeah, you check those standings, because I'm not going to lie, all of the standings, whenever I've looked at the standings over the past few weeks, it's been the bottom teams. I've only been looking at those, not much about the teams ahead of the Toronto Raptors, because we've been on that tanking path. But James Fralick, I gotta give a shout out to James Fralick. He's looking a little bit right. When everyone hopped on the tanking bandwagon, he was one of those people that was adamant, sent a bunch of super chats about not tanking. So shout out, if this continues, you're getting more shout outs on there. If you were on team playoffs the whole way, if you didn't lose hope, because Ryker and I certainly lost hope. We're not back just yet, but we want this team to be good. But if we're gonna be good, we gotta be fully good. We can't be the 11th seed. We can't not make the play-in tournament, but not tank all the way. So that's been our perspective on it.
And if you make the play-in, you cannot lose. You have to win the play-in.
If we lose the play-in tournament, I don't even know what we'll do. We'll eat some hot peppers. I don't even know. We'll just be sad. We'll be crying. It'll be not a good look. But apparently
everybody is saying, Ben, Pacers are actually 9 right now, which is shocking to me because they've underperformed since Karis LeVert has come back healthy and obviously cleared his kidney issue. Was it? It was something on the inside in terms of finding a lump or a tumor. So fantastic that he's back and healthy. I thought the team would really take the next step, but they're falling behind. Charlotte, New York is way up in 5th. Atlanta's in 4th. I don't know what's happening in the East. Ben Laker for life is saying he's interning at a big aerospace company working on space stuff in Tampa. And going back to
the
USC.
Quotations around space stuff.
No, he didn't put. I just put it. An aerospace company working on space stuff. Leave it ambiguous. I love it. And then going back to USC in LA for his grad school. Shout out, smart guy. Ben, you might see Ben in aerospace with all of his coding stuff that he's got going on over the next couple of years. But everybody's saying playoffs. Some people are saying, where's Aaron Baines? Some say we're going to stay in the 11th seed forever. There's nothing crazy. No big questions are jumping off the page to me in the comment section right now, Ben.
Ice cream with hot sauce if we do lose.
Ben, that will turn your stomach in a second.
You sound like you've eaten it. Yeah. I don't know. It might be good. It might be a good look, honestly. But people eat French fries and milkshakes and stuff. Get the sweet with the salty, sweet with the spicy, Ryker. Some hot sauce and ice cream if the Raptors lose in the play-in.
The sweet and spicy is not bad. It's it's spicy and creamy. That's not what you want.
Spicy and creamy. That could be a good nickname for the Raptors Digest duo.
No. I was watching a video on YouTube and it was about how to make crispy sweet potatoes but baked in the oven. And he said something like, when you're a potato named Sweet, you're obviously going to have more sugar content than starch of a regular potato. And all the comments were a potato named Sweet would be a fantastic band name. So we could become spicy and creamy, whatever you just said.
Spicy and creamy, bro. We could make a band. Spicy. We could start a band. We've dropped a couple songs. Should we release those, Ryker? And
people are gonna know now that we've made some rap songs. We're ingrained in hip hop culture. growing up with basketball and hip hop, so of course you had to drop a couple of EPs.
Roger that on the mic. But before we go too off the rails with this,
Roger that.
drop the EPs, drop the beats. But what are people saying? Should the Raptors re-sign Gillespie for next year? I'm all in on Gillespie. I think him and Birch as the real insurance guys, and then bring in a true... Well, if we don't get a high-value center off the market, right, a true sort of starting center in the NBA, then... Like, I'd be comfortable with Birch starting. Then you have to bring back Gillespie, in my opinion. But I would like to have both of them just off the bench as insurance. Obviously, we have the insurance pile-on this season in Aaron Baines. Having those, a triage of Birch, Gillespie, and another guy that's probably a little bit of a better shooter and more mobile and stuff, I think that would be a perfect route for the Raptors to really take their game, take their team to the next level next season.
Yep. Who you're saying? Gillespie, Birch, and who?
And just another center. Because Boucher's a power forward.
Yeah. We've talked about it so often on this podcast to unleash him at the 4. And I agree. That's him being unleashed. Whoop. And yeah, there's a free agent center out there, I'm sure, that could provide impact to this Toronto Raptors team. We had a potential hit in Christian Wood that was missed. You know, we let Rondae Hollis-Jefferson walk, which I think was a good call ultimately.
How depressed do you get every time you think of Christian Wood?
Yeah, I try not to say it too often, but sometimes it just... You can't help yourself. And Aaron Baines, you know, we called for him. We said a perfect offseason would be getting Aaron Baines as one of your centers. And boy, we missed the mark on that one. Nothing against Aaron Baines, just obviously hasn't performed up to expectations to lead to winning for this team. So, but Gillespie, Birch, one more guy, I definitely agree.
Yeah, that's the route, and the Raptors got to get to that. We want to be, regardless of what happens this season, regardless if you're on Team Tank or Team Playoffs, right? We want to be good next season, regardless of what happens. And you want to build that. You want to keep a guy like Gillespie around. But Ryker, the chats, they're bringing up a lot of stuff. No love for Aaron Baines, no Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel. Is there any specific names you'd be interested in bringing in for the Raptors next year?
No, there's nobody. I haven't perused the free agency yet, Ben, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. And apparently we're at 150 likes right now, so should we get a little like spike to get it to 200? Maybe get some wild advice, some cooking advice from Ryker Richard. People are digging the Roger That Rap name. Get those SoundCloud songs out there. There's people, I don't know. People are getting bantery in the chat. There's not many basketball questions happening right now, but we're also on that road to 20k subscribers. We got 396 people in here. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. Give the Raptors some good luck, and that luck can either be pushed towards tanking or towards making the playoffs, depending on what side you're on. So liking only helps that stuff out right there. But, you know, well, like spikes happen. But Ryker, we gotta ask you this question. You're saying you're on a cooking, you're researching cooking channels. What's the go-to meal for Ryker Richard? Chefing up.
Easy. Baked chicken.
Baked chicken?
Baked sweet potato fries.
Okay.
And a little bit of boiled broccoli. Steamed broccoli. Boiled, you just waterlog it. It's gross. Yeah. Broccoli is gross enough, so just steam it just so it's not
you gotta
too
fry
crunchy.
The broccoli. What do you...
No, you gotta avoid those processed fatty oils.
Bruh.
I'm very regimented with my diet. Now, that being said, I went to
broccoli,
chicken wings tonight.
Bro, you get the broccoli, throw it on the pan, right? You throw some garlic, salt, pepper on that thing. It's gonna make it delicious. Enjoy your life, Ryker. Don't be steaming your broccoli like a cheeser. But baked chicken with tiger's milk. Do you put the tiger's milk hot sauce on the chicken?
Oh yeah. I mean, Guillermo sent us 5 bottles of hot sauce each. This is my last little half bottle. I've put 4.5 all onto, smothered my chicken with it. So that's my go-to for sure. Ben, I'm gonna suggest that we wrap this up relatively quick unless there's anything else, because we'll drop it now. We're on the cusp. The merchandise, it's figured out. The website, Ben is coded. I got the Shopify stuff, so we can just get the early iterations out and just get it to market, and then we can make it look all beautiful and fully integrated with our actual website whenever Ben gets that. So we're saying it right here and right now. So we got a little strategy session to move into after this podcast, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign it off?
Well, we have
Mr. Tummy just got a bottle as well. So shout out.
Guys are good at getting those Tiger's Milk hot sauce. It's quality stuff, right? And let us know how it is. You send us a picture. I've been slacking on the IG DMs, but send us a pic. I don't know if I've missed any the past week with exam season, but send us those pics. We'll repost you in the story. We'll throw you on the channel. Riker is currently...
All blunt had me laughing, and then the laugh turned to a cough.
Paul Blunt with the super chat. Another great stream. Thank you, Spicy and Creamy. We might have to rock. When we get this game, we getting our first basketball game going. This we had one mild one we talked about. What was it, Sunday? But we got a proper one with the gym booked and all that this Friday. So Spicy and Creamy.
What time is that?
I think 8:45.
Is it official?
Yeah. The gym is booked. That's nice to go. Anyone in Newfoundland wanting to come out and watch, watch those streams. But before we end it off, right, what sort of merch are you guys looking for? Right, we get some ideas, get some brainstorming in there. We'll peep the chat as we slowly whisper away into this podcast night. I don't know what what that would be, but you guys like the black hoodie? We're trying to get a couple staples, then a couple creative ideas. Do you want some tank merch? That was something that people were bringing up before this game specifically. A lot of people are on team playoffs right now, so maybe that's its own thing. But yeah, throw in what you'd be interested in for some merch and stuff. Maybe a Spicy and Creamy shirt, Riker. Are we gonna get demonetized for that? Jerome's coming in with Barbara Baines merch.
Yeah, it's gonna be ultimately the OGs. We're gonna have a premium gold logo shirt, and we're gonna have some sort of custom crazy design incorporating a bunch of cool things, and then something else. So Raptors Digest X Crocs. I do love my Crocs. My roommate got me a pair of Crocs for Christmas, and it was not even a joke. I like them. They're great. Went to Iceland. Didn't wear hiking boots. Just wore Crocs. They got better grip for when the rocks are wet and you're doing your climbing and stuff. And they're so soft on your shoes, but like you get really good traction on the trails, so you're never slipping. He's wobbling. His ankles are at risk, and me and my little Crocs, I was waterproof. I was stepping through rivers, not a concern, and gripping. So
bro, why aren't you rocking these on our hikes, bro? Not breaking out the Crocs. And we also had a merch idea, a super chat from Niche Seth. Jenny Driscoll's face on a shirt. Riker, have since she's become infamous on the podcast, because everyone knows everyone in Newfoundland, legacy. So everyone knows her. But have you reached out, rekindled that?
I almost should, now that everybody's bringing it up. I should pick one video where her name is particularly featured, like in the comments, without us even mentioning it, just to show her how popular she has become in, sub Raptors culture and underground Raptors fan culture. Deep
underground.
So
Raptors
if you guys
culture.
want me to reconnect with Jenny Driscoll and just DM her out of the blue, let me know. Shout out her name in the comment section. I need to see action, folks. I need the encouragement.
Get a cold DM at the end of this podcast. You deleted your Instagram. We have our Instagram handles right here, and you don't even have Instagram anymore, so maybe we should just throw the regular names. If you want a cold DM on a Raptors Digest podcast, I'm throwing Riker under the bus out here, but only the avid listeners will probably remember who she is. We got 360 people still in this chat. Shout out to everyone here. Tiger's Milk is in the comment section too. Get that hot sauce, guys. It's quality stuff. We have another super chat too from Niche Seth. We're also going to review all of this stuff all the stuff you guys thrown in the chat for merchandise ideas after. But Nishi Seth with another super chat. While in all seriousness, Bane's the tank commander. So I'm guessing Nishi Seth is all in, still playing the kazoos, but it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a greater divide in this section, this team going forward, going to rock all this stuff out. But everyone in the chat, everyone listening, it's going to be a... the chat is just... I think we've caught up to the talk on Driscoll.
Oh, man. Poor girl. Well, she's never going to see this video unless she's advised to see it, so it's all good. It's all good. She's a legend. And that's it. Let's sign it off.
Bro, this is too much. This is too much. But anyways, you guys are the best for making this far. Check out the Twitter, the Instagram, all that cool stuff. RaptorsDigest.ca for cool articles. More stuff we post on there. The merch is coming. TikToks, they've been slacking, but they're going to be coming again soon. Ryker, do you have any last words on this podcast?
That's it, Ben. Good night, everyone. 197. We are so close to 200. I'm sure we'll get there.
Should we wait for like 4 seconds? Get a little like spike. Let's do an in-sync like spike to send it off.
Okay. Let's do this pace. Boom, 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 boom. Ready? Boom, boom. Like spike. Like spike.
Why'd you slow down?
Because you came in late.
Bro, I'm on time. I'm watching you as you go. I'm always looking at you instead of the camera right now. But hit that little like spike to send it off. But we appreciate you guys. Anyways, we're signing off. We got it?
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.